All right, everyone, welcome to week 6 of our gaming challenge, where we are 25% of the way through our season because we do two playoff weeks. And at the 25% through mark, we are 46 and 42, 52%, pretty good percentage, but we are down zero point 0.5 units. So we're kind of just hanging out there in the middle. Percentage is good, units not so good. As far as our standings are concerned, let me click back over here. And what we have here is I'm in first place with 18 wins. Jamie is right behind me with 17 wins, and Stone is in last place with 11 wins. So I'll pass it over to Jamie and see if he's got any remarks for us.
Oh, I mean, look at those units for you, Connor. You're doing great. Happy to see a turnaround. It could be, everybody gets one in the first 3 years. We'll see how that's going. I'm happy that I turned my touchdown pick around,
Hmm.
but it seems that the player picks they're very tough for me this year. I don't know why. Well, I'm 5 and 6 minus 1.65 units, so we got to get that turned around, and then we can get everything cooking.
Yeah, so the player picks is the only one we're below 50% at 48%. But I think we got some extra picks coming up this week, so um, let's get right into it. With Stone isn't going to be with us. He's got a celebration today, so he had to step out. I have his picks with me. We'll go straight to the game side for week 6, where Jamie is going to have 5 picks. He's going to go first, and then Stone and I each have 2 picks. So, Jamie, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so I'm hoping there's not a whole lot of sniping here, but we'll go. The first easiest pick. I've been riding this team hard. Baltimore's defense is terrible. I'm going to take the LA Rams over 26 and a half points, and that's at minus 118. Playing Cooper Rush, that doesn't help either on their offensive side, just more opportunities for the Rams to score. But that defense is giving up over 30 a game.
Yeah, they have to be one of the most disappointing teams, if not the most disappointing team of the year so far. And it's a tough watch. Um, All right. So Stone's first pick is going to be a snipe of me, which kind of sucks. But he has on his ticket, he has his first pick as Detroit minus 2.5 at or plus 2.5 at minus 115. They're playing one of the primetime games against the Chiefs. Um, I know a lot of people in the picks world were saying, "Oh, this kind of still looks like a." Um, how is Detroit not the favorite on this? But sure enough, they're not, and plus 2.5 seems like a good number to get for them.
Yeah, that is also a snipe of mine. I definitely had that on my board. So that
Yeah,
sucks because I'm glad I picked a lot of games, but
yeah,
I don't know how they're not.
that was my first pick. So um, I'm gonna I was actually gonna do a crazy thing. I was gonna do a 2 for 1, but then I'll just move right on to my second pick, which is the over in that game. Detroit, Kansas City over 52.5. That's it, minus 115. One of the higher overs of the week, but both teams can score. Both teams are starting to look better on offense than they did to start the season, and yeah, I'm hoping to see some points be scored. I'm tired of watching these sucky underdog win. Um, Primetime games that have been absolutely killing me. So that's that's my first pick, and then Jamie, you're back up.
Yeah, KC's defense hasn't been nearly as good as last year, so I like that pick. For my next pick, I'm gonna go with the Colts, another team I've been riding, -7. That's at minus 110. That's versus the Cardinals. The Cardinals, I think people would agree, have been a disappointment, and they
Hmm.
just lost to the Titans, which is literally one of the worst, if not the worst, teams in the NFL. Um, so they're down their running back, and the Colts have put on some impressive showings. So I think they can cover the touchdown.
In some very strange fashions as well, dropping a touchdown when you could have been winning by 3.5 scores to fumble out of the back of the end zone, interception that gets kicked, and then they pick it up and they score a touchdown, and that's just a tough way to go down. I don't know how you bounce back from that. So I don't have a lot of. So this one's not on my. So this one's for Stone. Stone has his next pick at Dallas -3, and that is at -120. Um, I didn't really look a lot into this game, but they're playing Carolina Panthers. Panthers really aren't that good. Dallas looked pretty good this, and I think they're. Is CD coming back this week? Is that? I'm kind of seeing him
No,
someplace with numbers.
I doubt it. I mean, he's gonna save it and come back next week versus the Commanders.
Mm, that'll be tough for us.
Yeah.
All right. Let me double check this one because yesterday we were going to do the pod yesterday, but it didn't work out. Um, okay, so Sunday 1 o'clock there is pretty much a pick'em game. I'm going to take the home team. The other team's going to have to travel from the West Coast at a 1 o'clock time, and Jacksonville just had a nice win. So I'm taking Jacksonville money line. That's at -110, so a straight pick'em. Um, the spread on that is +1.5 at -125, but I'm going to take them straight up and hope they kind of carry over from that Monday night win or Sunday night win against the Chiefs that they actually looked pretty competitive in.
A surprising team, 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone had that on their bingo card when
All right, so Jamie,
season
you're
started.
going to get, Stone and I are done. You're going to get 3 picks in a row. So
Yeah,
go
I'm
ahead.
surprised I only got sniped once. Honestly, I don't know how you didn't have Washington -4.5 at -115 on your card. We'll get into this later, I think, but Chicago has one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. Washington has the best rushing attack in the NFL. That's not a recipe for success for Chicago. They want to make it a rivalry game, but it's very one-sided. I think Washington takes this. For my next one, another team, talking about keeping it rolling. I like New England -3.5, and that's at -110. They're playing the Saints, and that was our preseason pick for worst team. Turns out Saints might not be the worst team, but I think New England can cover the 3.5 after beating Buffalo. They seem to get that team rolling. They got Stefan Diggs going, so I like the confidence they're building.
Mm-hmm.
And then for my last pick on that Dallas game, I'm going to take Dallas over 26.5 points, and that's at -120. Dallas averages over 30 a game. Their offense is one of the best in the NFL, regardless how the game goes. I mean, they can pass a lot, they can rush good. That whole offense is good even without CD. So I think they can do that.
So you got 2 team totals on the board, and you're 4-1, and it's just a new Jamie strategy this year. This setting the record for team totals here. I'll say that
Why
Stone
not?
did have his backup pick as Washington -4.5, so he would agree with you on that one. All right, where are we at here? Okay, so Stone is going to go first on the player picks. He's got 3. I got 4. You have 2. All right, and so I got to get this back up. Okay, his first pick is going straight again, and it was my first pick. I don't know. Now I'm kind of upset he sniped me every time. Wish he was here. He's going to go straight against the Dallas defense, and he's going to take true number 1 rookie McMillan, and that's going to be over 71.5 receiving. That's at -115. This was also my first pick. I just think that likelihood is they're going to be losing. They're going to have to pass it. Dallas defense isn't that good. He's clearly their number 1 by a long shot. Um, love that number for him.
Yeah,
I will say that
that's
he must have put his in last night. I had mine had earlier in the day, and it was only 70.5. So it seems to be moving in a higher direction.
this is one I've looked at. I think a bunch of cappers have looked at this. So,
Mm-hmm.
expect it to be a high scoring game. Lots of passing.
All right, I don't know, maybe this would be a snipe. I thought it would, but here we go. So my first pick is going to be Kyron Williams, and that's rushing plus receiving. It's Baltimore at 93.5, at minus 114. Again, I think Baltimore has one of the worst teams / defenses in the league. They give up a ton of points. Uh, Blake Corum's coming off that fumble where he really didn't get to play much after that. And even though Williams fumbled, it seemed like they were way more comfortable with him just staying out there. So I'm going to take Williams on this. 93.5 doesn't seem too crazy for a team that's giving up like 40 points a game.
Yeah, they're going to be up, so they should be running, and he can get those receiving work too. So I honestly cannot believe you let me get Bill.
Yeah.
Jaworski Merritt. Over 67.5 rushing yards at minus 112. I talked about it earlier. The Chicago has the second worst overall run D, and they have the worst per rush run D. But the Commanders have the best. He had well over 100 yards last week. I think they're gonna, he's a game changer. They're gonna let him run.
Yeah, he seems to be. He's emerging. It's clearly what's happening here, and I don't know if they're, you know, really still ready to give everything to him, but it seems like he is becoming a fan favorite, and he is producing on the field, which helps out with
I think
everything.
he's doing like 8 yards per rush. So if he had
Yes.
8 carries,
I
9
think last
carries, he
game it
could get
was yeah, I think last game it was like 7. The team was getting 7 yards a carry. It's like, okay, what are we doing? All right. Let's go back to Stone here, trying to balance his tab here, my tab here. So he's going back to the wide receivers for a St. Brown um, over another 71.5 here at minus 111. Sorry, the last one was minus 111 too. I read the wrong one. They're playing the Chiefs. I'm hoping it's a high scoring game, so like the fact that we're doubling up on the receiving here, but I don't have anything other than that.
I got nothing here. I'm just trying to think back. Last game, I mean, Jaguars didn't have too much receiving work going there. So, but the Detroit offense is explosive.
All right. And so my next pick is going to be. I somehow have four. I don't know. Okay, so my next pick, I'm just losing track of my tabs here, is a guy that I'm just going to ride until the wheels come off, and I'm just going to take Darren Waller, hit him out of the pod on a different kind of challenge that we do, then hit him in the pod, and still think that 36.5 receiving yards is way too low for him. For his emerging, it looks like he's taken over, kind of the same thing as last week. Hill's gone, taking over the tight end role, putting up the Jonnu Smith numbers. I think it's just a matter of time until, if he hasn't already broken out, that
Yeah,
time is here.
not only Jonnu Smith role, but just the second wide receiver. They don't have a
Yep.
second wide receiver anymore. Basically, so there's targets to be had, and the old tight end that sits 5-7 yards down the field and is in the middle. It's always your safe play. So yeah, I looked at that line. Their defense they're playing worried me a little bit. The Chargers don't give a whole lot up to tight ends, so
No
we'll see.
catches for tight ends last week against the Chargers. Zach
Yeah,
Ertz did not touch the ball, but like you said, this is wide receiver too. This isn't tight end.
yeah, and that's why he played in college. He played wide receiver, so they might pull him off the line, get him some
hmm
space. So like the pick regardless. Um, Going back to running backs, I have to change my player picks just to what has been successful in the past. So I'm going back to Genty over 76.5 rushing yards. That's at minus 111. That's versus the Titans. They're the third worst run defense. We're just, simple equation here. Go against the worst run defenses. Um, the QB, he's thrown a bunch of picks. And so they have to put the ball in Genty's hands. This is almost as close to a most win for the Raiders as possible.
I agree. All right. So let me click back here to Stones, and his last pick is another wide receiver, which and that means I'm gonna have to give him a go look at his wide receivers numbers. Um, he's gonna take Odunze against the Commanders over 64 and a half. Um, I wasn't on any Bears this week, so I don't really have much to say. But he has certainly became their number one, and I've learned that earlier in the season when DJ Moore could not get 50 yards against the terrible Dallas team.
Yeah, I think it just depends on what cornerback is matched up. Trey Amos, our corners, you haven't heard them a lot after the first couple weeks was exactly it means they're doing their job.
Hmm.
If you don't hear about them, it means they're doing their job. So we'll see.
Yeah. So Stone is 2-2 wide receiver yards this year, so he's that's on the good side of his player picks. He's been struggling in that category. So now for my final two, I just want to make sure. Um, yeah, I was 2-1 last week. They're moving furniture upstairs, so. All right, first one I'm gonna get here is a guy I think's been playing well. He has been the glue. Um, we expect him to play well. This is why I didn't go with Bill because I would like to get some Debo Samuel action in the pod. His over under is 59 and a half. It looks like McLaurin's not going to play. They're going to hold him out one more week at least. There was some reports that he might, that certain doctors are saying he's good. I don't know. It's kind of some drama here in DC. But Samuel's been there. He's been the glue. And I think if this game starts to go in either direction, a slower paced game, or they're going to have to score some points, I think that he is target number one. And we saw that, I guess, last week versus the Chargers. So wanted to get him on the pod.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
going to target monster for sure.
Yep. And then the next one I am seeing I have a little flaw in my logic. I was all worked up on one thing from the last couple weeks when we won. I'm going to take another Rams player. Not Nakua. I'm going to take Adams. His number I think is much more achievable for that bad Ravens defense. It's at 65 and a half at minus 114. So now I got Kyard Williams and Devontae Adams to put up yardage on, again, a team that we are fading in uh, the Ravens, right up the street. All right, I think that's
I don't think it's a bad
everything.
strategy. We won
No.
the last time we went all in on the game.
Oh yeah, that was my backup. I had the McMillan, so I was gonna go with Kyred, and then I had Adams as a backup. So that's what happens when you get sniped when you don't have a good enough week last week. That's the name of the game. And so I will
Absolutely.
pivot us over to the touchdown parlay, which we didn't hit. We were one away. We've been putting up a pretty good number on this, 9-6. If you bet them straight up, you're plus 3 units, and that's at 60%. Even if you round robin them, you're making a couple bucks each time. But we just haven't hit the parlay yet. We haven't hit all three. Um, just so that Stone doesn't get sniped, I'm going to put his up here first. Um, because we could kind of look through and find it. He's taken Ibuka anytime touchdown at 100. He's been all over this guy in fantasy. He talks about him every week. I was actually thinking, I was planning on like what we would do if he wasn't able to join us because he's really busy today. And I was like, well, I'll give him Ibuka. He'll be fine with that. And sure enough, when he sent me his ticket, this was his touchdown pick. So I thought that was kind of funny. But um, yeah, that's what he's got. Jamie, what do you got for this?
All right, I'm gonna go. I mean, Genti's not on the board yet. Like I said, I mean,
Hmm.
he's picking up. I think this will be the lowest line moving forward. That minus 145.
All right. And so I teams I haven't really been watching, but you get that Sunday morning game, nothing else on, having a great time, drinking your coffee, watching NFL football, and I saw a guy I thought was really emerging, is their number one, and has a positive number. So they're playing the Steelers this week. I'm going to take Judkins anytime touchdown. That's at 105. I'm putting my 4 touchdown win streak on the line here with a rookie running back. But again, he he broke a couple. There's a holding. It was called back. He was always around. He seems to be, as they start to move into the younger direction at quarterback, I think he is going to be a serious component for them. And plus 105 is, I like the number. All right. You got anything to close us out?
No, my plus 593 total. So, it's a
Mm-hmm.
good little parlay. We can put that together and hit it for the first time all year. I got faith. Let's go.
Yep, we hit this. I have this in my notes because we're 25% through. We hit this 3 times last year. We have yet to hit it. The year before that, we hit it twice, and we were only in the negatives the last week of the season. So we need to we need to get hot on this, and I'm sure there's definitely some wins out there. But um, yep, that's all I got. Thanks everyone for joining us. Congratulations to this family, and we'll see everyone next week with our full slate and get the video out a little bit earlier. But that's it.